Okay, good morning everyone. We're going to get right into the charts. I'm going to do kind of a stock blitz on this video, just go through a lot of different charts that I'm looking at this morning. So if you're new to the channel, we cover stock market technical analysis and mostly trade ideas. I'm not usually, I don't put out videos that have question marks. Where is the market going to go up next? Question mark, question mark. No, I give my opinion. I tell you exactly the case that I'm building for a certain direction that the market is going. And I trade those positions. So again, everything's about pointing out actionable trade ideas, not just reactive analysis or telling you what happened in the market. Okay, does nobody any good to tell you what happened in the market? All right, what I'm looking to do is tell you where I think the market's going to go, or where I think a trade idea is going to go, and then I give you the technical case for that. And if I'm right, we make money. If I'm wrong, we know where to stop out and lose small. So this is real trading videos, okay? So if you're new, check out my stock market technical analysis course. I put that course together by the request of my subscribers about 1.5 years ago. Link in the description below. I am going to raise the price on Sunday from $99 to $150. I priced it at $99. I wanted to make it affordable for all. It's been at that price for ever since I created it. Time for a price increase. Okay, so that's going up on Sunday. If you're interested, check that out and drop me a thumbs up. Let's get into it. Triple Qs, okay? So, again, we had earnings come out on Amazon, and we'll look at those. Qs, not a huge rally right now. I'm not seeing a rally. It's still early. We need to see kind of how the day plays out, but key level is still this support area. Right in here at about 3, it's 317, 318. Support. They're really trying to hold it, okay? So we'll see what plays out. We do have bullish divergence on the momentum indicators, so the technical setup is definitely there for our bounce. We saw a bounce yesterday afternoon, and I did fade some of that bounce. I'll show you guys in certain areas that I was looking to fade that. So at the end of the day, I'm looking for lower prices, okay? I know the technicals are set up for a bullish bounce. It's very obvious that this is a area of support with bullish divergence. It's kind of going against the technicals a little bit on this one, only because it's so obvious right into these earnings. So we need to give it a day or two. Probably not going to play out this week. I think they'll probably just close the week, keeping everyone guessing, and just likely keep us right in here. I suspect we'll close right at support, at 3, right in there. And then next week, we'll figure out where we go. But I see a potential for a gap down next week. Maybe some news over the weekend, and we gap down next week and have some impulsive selling. So that's what I think is going to happen. But if you're a bull, this is the area you'd want to be buying, because you have a bullish divergence telling you that we should go higher. And yeah, that's it. So maybe set a stop somewhere below. Again, I just think that if you're going to get a breakdown, it's going to be a trap move. So it's going to gap down. It's not going to give anybody who wants to be short an objective entry to be short. And anybody who's long, it's not going to give them an objective entry to exit. It's probably going to gap down relatively big and kind of trap you into some losses, and then not give you a great opportunity to short at a key level. So I'm sticking with my shorts for right now. We'll see how the day closes out. Again, I'm still looking for this 300 area on triple Qs. That's my profit target for right now. So until I see something changing, I'm going to stick with that and see if we get that. All right. Now, if we start to rally here and we start to build on some rally, I'll cover those shorts and we'll just get out and we'll look to flip. But for now, that's what I got. IWM small caps. This one, again, you've got kind of support on the daily chart right here, and it's about 188. All right, support, and we're basically right there. Okay, so they're probably going to just close it right in that area. But if we break, then we should go down. And the target on this one is down here in the support zone. I've got it about 173.75 down to about 169.78. I think about 170 flat is pretty good, right in the middle. And that's my profit target. So I'm staying short on that one. Same bullish setup though. All right. So maybe what's going to happen is we have a flush out move. We keep the divergences with a flush out move. Because again, divergence is not a reason to go long. Bullish divergence tells me that, okay, the conditions are there for a reversal, but that doesn't mean we can't maybe have a big flush down move. and then reverse, okay, and keep the divergences. That's possible. Or we have a big flush down move, we burn through the divergences, and that would be extremely bearish, telling me that, okay, we're in a bear market. So, you know, this was a trap move, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is kind of a trap move with the bullish divergences set up right at key support. I think we're going to gap down and trap the longs here. That's what we're seeing in a lot of the stocks. So let's look at these FANG stocks here. Start off with Amazon. Amazon, as far as I can tell, is smoked. Okay, Amazon is entering a bear market, and you had a big sideways trading range right here for over a year, or at least a year, and then we kind of started to break, but today gapping down, pretty much just putting all of these traders underwater with this big gap down move. And they're going to be fuel for they're going to be sellers, all right? As they get trapped into these, they'll start selling, taking on losses, and they'll start selling. The more the losses come, the more sellers that start flushing out. And that's going to create our momentum to get us down to the next level of support, which I see about 2050, all right? It's right down here, about 2050. One thing to point out, though, if I look at the weekly on Amazon, this is going back to 2008, all right? Support, support, support. And we broke with a big sell signal on the weekly chart here, back tested for, you know, a couple months basically. And it's obvious now. Boom, down we go. 4 weeks, 5 weeks of selling with looks like we're rounding out this week with really impulsive selling. Unless they step in today and buy it up, this is likely all she wrote for Amazon, and Amazon's entering a bear market. All right, hasn't really been in a bear market since 2008. All right, so that should not bode well for the triple Qs and tech in general when one of these generals, these FANG stocks, get taken out like this. So I'm thinking Apple's next. Apple's kind of the holdout right now, and that's the one we're just really watching. And Apple, basically, it's as simple as this. You've got a support line, and this is the weekly chart, so it gives you kind of longer term trend. You've got this bearish rising wedge / support line right here, support all through here. Okay, we need to take that out, and they're trying to hold the 200-day. Again, this is kind of the last holdout of strength, where they're just doing everything they can to hold the 200-day, and then you got that support. We need to see that go, and once that goes, it'll be obvious. There will be no strength. The FANGs will all have broken, key levels of support, and we should just, flush out. But until we see Apple break, that's kind of the last hold on. That's what's keeping the market up, because it has such a heavy market cap weighting. Okay, jumping around a little bit, deviant still got this bear flag here. They're just above it, but again, you'll see these kind of things where they'll pop it above these flags, make it look like the flag's foiled, and then flush out. So I'm still staying short on this one. It's still giving me, now I do need to move this up slightly, probably to about right there. But again, I think we're going to flush down, and the next target, we'll just say it's about 50-50. That's our next level of decent support. So that's a high probability target. I do think we're heading down there. I like this as a continuation short trade. Again, big negative divergence has been building. So this big uptrend, this big upward trend, we broke trend. We had a sell signal. We're getting a little bit of a counter trend bounce, but big negative divergence. Everything tells me we're going lower, so I'm sticking with that one. CNQ, very similar. Negative divergence on the momentum indicators, bearish rising wedge, break and a sell signal here, little bear flag action. I think we continue lower. Next target, about 54.75. I like that for more downside. AA. Alcoa, this has a very similar bear flag. Okay, you've got a negative divergence. See it right there? All right, I've got that marked out. All right, so then we were trending higher. We kind of broke. This is really the kind of solid sell signal where you really gap down and impulsively sold. And then we're bear flagging there. So that tells me that we can have a continuation move. I'm going to be conservative on it and just go like that. And that means that the continuation move sets us up for a move. Yeah, down to about there. 52.34 is roughly support right in there. So we've got some support down there, and that's where we're projecting. So looking at the hourly, you can see we're flagging out. Again, on the daily, look at the volume, all right? Dropping off. Volume's dropping off. So classic bear flag. Flagpole. Flag. The flag comes with dropping volume, just like that, and then boom, you continue. So that's the high probability target right now is somewhere down there, 54-ish. So we'll watch that. I like that as a, continuation. But again, you need to wait for the bear flag to break. Here's one, Lockheed Martin LMT. You can see clear uptrend on the daily here. We made a high. We made a slightly higher high right in here, but that higher high came with negative divergence. That was a divergent high. So you see the momentum dropping off. All right, so this is all simple stuff, guys. Check out my course. I go through each one of these little concepts in detail. I kind of break out each technical concept into its own course, and then that'll help you kind of put it all together as I'm running through these videos. I also give you guys a checklist on how to evaluate a trade and the probability that that trade will be successful, and also risk mitigation. That's all part of the course. Check that out. Okay, so then you've got negative divergence. This one we broke. They've been trying to hold it. When I go to the hourly, you can see we broke. They recovered it. We're breaking now, and this last hour this morning looks pretty decent for a breakdown. So I'm looking for more downside on this. It's not going to be a big dropper. This thing's like a safety kind of defensive stock, so it's not going to be like a momentum stock. But we've got this thin zone right here where it just launched higher. And I think we're going to trade at least at a minimum down to that thin zone, 396.88, and probably hit the 200-day, maybe undercut it, hit the 200 and recover. Not looking for a whole lot on this one, but I think we got some more downside to come. So from where we're at now, that's a drop of about 9%-ish. That's kind of the trade idea that I'm pointing out for that one. Moving on. Tesla. Okay, so this morning, and this is common in Tesla, they love to like jump in here and kind of rally it up. This is a market maker's playground and a day trader's playground. They love these things, especially Tesla. It's just very volatile. So again, they rally it up, but we're starting to sell down here on the hourly chart. Still above the 200-day. You can see they're just trying to hold the 200-day. I think we're going to break. All right, we're in a downtrend, at least short term in a downtrend. And even if you want to go back and look, we made a high. We've been in a downtrend technically since November of 2021. Okay, we made a high here, and we have not made a new higher high since then. All right, we almost got there twice, but rejected both times with a lower high. Then we recently rallied here in March up to this area, made a lower high. So again, bigger picture, we are downtrending, all right, with lower highs and lower lows. So I think we're going like that, all right? Not all at once. It's not going to crash. I don't think it will, at least straight down, but I do think we're going to work our way down to 550-ish zone and for a new lower low. So I like this for continuation to the downside, even though they pop it. I actually added some short exposure a little bit, not a lot, kind of sprinkled a little more on this morning as they were rallying that thing. So I'm looking for more downside. UPS, okay, so we had a bear flag. It's starting to get a little choppy, but here's your big flagpole. You flagged out. They're starting to chop it around, but it's still, I think the flag's still intact. So at the end of the day, we're looking for a continuation move down to our target. A little bit of support here at 177.50. But I think the target's going to be right down there around 156.58. Okay, so I like that for continuation. Again, the last high right up in here on the daily chart was a divergent high. See the negative divergence? So this still works. I like it for more downside. UNP, and this is a very similar looking chart, kind of a flagging action. You've got bear flag. There's your flag with consolidation on the daily chart. We had declining volume starting, kind of right in here, some declining volume. And then we're breaking down out of the flag, a little bit of hold up there. But again, it was earnings. So the market was going to go into a holding pattern until we get those earnings out of the way. And now I think we've got a pass to continue to the downside. There's no reason. There should be no waiting around for what these earnings reports are now that we've got these big mega cap tech stocks out of the way. They're the big market movers, so nothing, everything else is not really going to move the market like these things can. All right, so I'm looking for 215.75, big negative divergence on this one. So again, you'll see here moving higher in price, lower in momentum. All right, that was a divergent high. We break our trend line support coming off the March 2020 lows. Break, flag out, break down. I'm looking for more downside there. Okay, Qualcomm. So Qualcomm popped on earnings yesterday, but just rallied right into resistance. So I saw that rally. Here's the daily chart. You can see we've got this downtrend. Qualcomm's been making a series of lower highs and lower lows in a downtrend, and here's the rally yesterday. They popped it above it just briefly, but it wasn't that impulsive. It faded, pretty much closing right there at major resistance, and I shorted that thing right there and then, because again, when you're in a downtrend, you want to sell the rips. So as you rally into resistance, that's the opportunity to short, and so far working out, down 2%. I think we're heading lower. So what I'm looking for in Qualcomm is a move down from this resistance line down to the next area of really good support down here at 123, we'll call it. You can see that's a very good area of support. So you got support all through here, and it was resistance back here. That's the target for right now in Qualcomm, at least the short-term target. We do have a big gap to fill all the way down here at 93.58. So that is the potential, but very good support right here. I would expect some kind of a bounce. If you don't get a bounce here, you're probably just going to flush right down and fill the gap, and then that would be the end of the sell-off. But that's what I got. So I'm looking for more downside in the short term. So far, it's working out. Okay, some of these gold miners, AG, this is a silver miner, but they mine gold too. Big downward move. We're just kind of holding this support line right here. On the hourly chart, we've got bullish divergence. Let me go ahead and point that out. Okay, so you see how the price was, it's kind of drifting lower right here, and yet the momentum is moving higher. So we still have that. I suspect we're going to build this divergence for a little while. So I could see us coming back down, hitting another low, just continuing to build this divergence as it continues to move higher while we kind of grind along this support. And then eventually you'll probably get some sort of a gap up or big impulsive move as we break to the upside and start trending higher. But that's all I see on that one. And then GDXJ, pretty similar on the daily. We've hit the support line. The support line comes off very good support. You can see all these areas of resistance back during the big correction period. We broke out, so we have a bullish breakout. We backtest once, and we're backtesting twice. That can happen. So again, just holding that support. On the hourly chart, again, very similar. We're probably going to just build this divergence for a little while. See the bullish divergence on the RSI and the PPO. It's moving up, and price is kind of grinding lower. So we'll just probably just knock out a bottom, grind it out, and then we'll start to move higher with an impulsive move. AEM had earnings. I did take a play in this one. I've covered it. I sold it right now. But this one, I adjusted my trend line a little bit. And as I roll out, this is coming off the September 2015. So I've got a good cluster of reaction here. Good cluster of reactions here. This is the COVID drop. You have to kind of X out the impulsiveness of that. It was like a liquidity event. Support right in here. But then we broke, and it was resistance once we broke. We've then recovered it, though. Pretty impulsive when you recovered it, too. Look at that. And then coming in for a back test. So yesterday, we were basically testing the 200, testing this trend line that I see, and it looked good for a bounce at a minimum coming into earnings. Looking at the daily also, no real divergence on the daily. But if I look at the hourly, clear bullish divergence here on the hourly. You see that right there? How we were moving higher, and it just shows that there were people buying as we were kind of hitting these levels of support. There were buyers, more buyers were stepping in, and the momentum was about to shift. Earnings came out, boom, pops, it's up 7%. I've got a downtrend here, and I don't know. We could run up, hit that downtrend. That might be a objective area to close it out, maybe for a pullback, and then bounce. I don't know. It's up 7% right after earnings. I think it makes sense to probably take some profit and wait for more signs that we're going to continue to break higher, because I'm not seeing it in the gold stocks yet. If I go to gold, I'm seeing, they're mostly flat, which makes sense. They're kind of just knocking out a bottom right now. They're kind of building a base of support. So this one to pop 7%, that's kind of a high flyer, while the other ones are kind of, building support. So could see a pullback there, but just want to point it out. I like the gold stocks. Some of them need to go a little lower. I'm looking for a little bit more downside, but in general, I like them. We're getting close to buying more of these, and again, I've been buying a couple of them, like AG, PAAS. Started buying a position on that one. AEM, I bought that yesterday, and GDXJ on that one. HMY added to that one a little bit as we hit support. Okay, so you can see we've just, look at that, nice solid trend line support with the 200-day moving average support on the hourly. We've got bullish divergence right there. All right, so it looks good. Looks like a good area of support. And if we come down and hit it again, that would be support again. So your buy zone is, as you're tagging the trend line, that gives you opportunities to build a position. Okay, ABBV. I haven't covered this one in a while. It's just been kind of flagging out. But again, talked about this being a short position. Right here, our sell signal came back on the April 13th. See that big sell signal, that drop? So look, you've got trend line, you got a daily trend right there. As you were moving higher, you started to put in negative divergence. Basically, this was a divergent high right here. I pointed it out. We got the sell signal. We then kind of flag out, and today, boom, earnings, gap down, selling down 8%. So again, that's how that goes. Typically, it's not going to give you a clean entry. When you start to move down, it's usually, usually they set a trap and they trap in the long. So that's what we're seeing today. More downside. We're gonna hit support. We've got some minor support right here. I kind of have that marked out, and I would say close enough that we got it. So we're gonna probably see a little bit of a bounce, but and you got the 200-day. So ultimately, I think we go down and at least at a minimum hit that 200-day. Okay, so I like that one still. And KHC, this has been a long trade. I think it's still good for a long. I mean, looking at the hourly, we're right at support. I'm still looking, so we should bounce here. And I am looking for kind of a final move to run up and fill the gap right up here at 48. All right, so there's a gap from back in 2019. We made a run at it once before, failed, and we're making a run at it again. I think we're going to go fill it now and probably call that good. So I like this for continued upside, and that's about all I got for this morning. So if anything gets crazy, which I think it's probably possible, but I'll do an after the market video. Otherwise, guys, check me out on my Saturday live stream. I do that about 9:15, 9:30 in the morning Pacific time on Saturday. Those live streams, I cover charts you guys want me to look at, and so we'll talk through those charts and give you guys good analysis on those. So I'll see you tomorrow, and otherwise, if anything gets crazy, again, I'll put out a video at the end of the day, but that's all I got for today. All right.